You have to be brave. You have to be fearless to speak your truth. So the more energy you have, the more you are emotionally balanced. See, life is all about giving the right focus, in the right time, in the right place. No soul takes birth to serve others. Every soul takes birth to serve itself. When you let go of all the expectations, then the relationship becomes beautiful. You go to the school to learn the lessons. You come to the earth to face the challenges. As simple as that. So today we will understand the energy factor. So what do we need? Basically, what do we need? We are energy beings. We are emotional beings. So what do we need? We need full of energy. The more energy you have, the more vibrant your life is. The more energy you have, the more healthy your physical body is. The more energy you have, I'm referring to cosmic energy, the fundamental life force energy, which is called Prana. So the more energy you have, the more you are emotionally balanced. You can notice that when you're in your weakest moment, you get affected emotionally very bad. Only in your weakest moment, you feel very bad. Emotionally, you feel drained. You get hurt. You go through the sadness and the pain only in your weakest moment. So when you're full of energy, then whatever might be the challenges of life, you're able to face it with a smile on your face. So you have to underline that it is this fundamental life force energy, which is called the prana. That is very important, and that is what we are seeking. More the energy you have, more naturally you have clarity in your life. And when you have clarity, then naturally your priorities are in the right order. In the corporate world, people speak about stress management, time management. It all depends on energy management. Your time management and your stress management depends on your energy management. What is basically time management? What is basically stress management? It is to make sure that you are doing the most important tasks first. Your priorities are to do the first important task. And then you go to the next priority. Then you go to the next priority. See, life is all about giving the right focus, in the right time, in the right place. When you give attention, your energy, your attention, your focus, the right time, in the right place, then you get the desired output. If you want your priorities to be in the right order, then you have to have a lot of clarity. And that clarity naturally comes the more you have energy. So this is the equation. Energy leads to clarity. Clarity leads to priority. And priority leads to celebration of life. If you have the right priorities, then you celebrate the life. Now let us discuss what are the sources of energy. In what ways we can harvest more and more energy. And how do we properly utilize the energy? How do we conserve the energy? See, energy management has three aspects. The first is energy maximization. The second is energy conservation. The third is the proper utilization of energy. So how do we maximize the energy? How do we conserve the energy? And how do we utilize the energy properly? This is what we are going to understand today. I'm going to tell you very practical tips or the ways you can be full of enthu, you are full of energy. When you close your eyes, you conserve the energy. When you observe the breath, you maximize your energy. In meditation, when you close your eyes, you conserve the energy. When you observe the breath, you maximize the energy. 80% of our energy is spent through our cognitive abilities. So when you close your eyes, 80% of your energy is conserved. And when you focus on your breath, your energy is maximized. First, you have to make sure there is no leakage of energy, which is like the lock posture. In the lock posture, there is no leakage of energy. And then when you close your eyes, you conserve the energy. When you observe the breath, you maximize the energy. You can do this as a simple experiment. So note down experiment number 1. At any point of time, you feel very exhausted, you feel very tired. The best time to do this experiment is when you come back from work. The whole day you're working, a lot of tiredness, and then a lot of traffic. By the time you come home, you're tired. So at any point of time, you're feeling tired or exhausted, or even emotionally, you are not feeling good, you're feeling a little low. So the simple experiment is close your eyes. As soon as you come back home, immediately close your eyes and observe your breath only for 10 minutes. And do this experiment to see, are you feeling any better? In 10 minutes time, something shifts in you. You feel energetic. You are no more tired. You feel fresh. Even emotionally, you are very low. You will notice that after 10 minutes, you are feeling much, much better emotionally. So this is the first experiment I want all of you to do, especially the beginners. If you really want to understand energy science, you have to experiment. So the first experiment is when you give attention to the breath, when you focus on your own breath, your prana level increases. Because breath doesn't have only oxygen, it has prana as well. So that is the first experiment. When you focus on your own breath, your prana level increases. That is the first experiment. And now, after breath, the second most important thing is water. So anytime you feel very emotional, tired, exhausted, drink plenty of water. Immediately you will feel the recharge. And what kind of water you need to drink? You need to drink water from the natural sources, pH neutral water. You can say that, sir, I'm living in cities. Where do I get water from the river streams, wells, and bore wells? We are living in cosmopolitan cities. We don't have access. We use RO, reverse osmosis technology water. We use RO water. So there is a way you can use a mud pot. From the RO water, you pour in the mud pot and leave it for 12 hours overnight. Then the water pH level changes. It becomes neutral naturally. So use mud pot, the pH level becomes neutral again. In the olden days, people always drink water from the mud pots. So that's why they're all very healthy. If you take care of your water intake, your health will improve to a great extent. Okay, so pH neutral water. And not only consuming water, shower also energizes you instantly. You know that very well. Some of you may not have noticed it very minutely. The moment you take shower, you feel fresh. Why do you feel fresh? Because the water energy cleanses your aura. We have our own aura, but our aura is constantly interacting with the outside world. For example, you go to the marketplace, a lot of traffic, a lot of dust, a lot of pollution, and a lot of bombardment. And there is a bargain. People are trying to focus on money. In the marketplace, people are not in the heart space, they're in the head space. So all their thoughts, everything, exploitation is happening on one side. People are focusing on profits. So there is no heart-to-heart conversation. So naturally, your aura gets impacted. Right? So when you come back home, take shower, you feel better. Why you feel better? Because your aura gets cleansed. Once your aura gets cleansed, so imagine that the water energy is cleansing all the aura. So once your aura is cleansed, what radiates from within you is your own aura. So once all the disturbing aura is cleansed, again, within your being, your aura is radiating outside. So you feel comfortable with your own aura. See, there are two things. You feel comfortable with your own aura, or you feel comfortable with a person who has more energy than you. So that's why in the presence of a master, all the disciples gather. Because the master's energy is radiating a lot of energy, pure aura it is radiating. And that energy is attracting all the seekers. In the mythological stories, we know that Krishna is always surrounded by thousands of gopikas. So who is a gopika? Normally there is a wrong understanding that gopika is a beautiful woman behind Krishna. It is only half the truth. The complete understanding is they are all truth seekers. They are not behind Krishna's physical beauty. These gopikas are not behind Krishna's body. They are least bothered about Krishna's body. These gopikas are truth seekers. They always surround Krishna for the wisdom of the Krishna. They are attracted by the Krishna's consciousness because they are seeking the truth. And every truth seeker is a beautiful person. Every truth seeker is a beautiful person. So that's why these gopikas are depicted as beautiful young ladies. No, they're all truth seekers. Because they are truth seekers, they are beautiful. Not because they are in a female body, not because they are physically attractive. No, they are truth seekers. Every truth seeker is a beautiful person because they radiate pure aura. A truth seeker radiates purity in the heart. So naturally, they are beautiful. So every master is naturally surrounded by the truth seekers. You are comfortable with your own aura and you are comfortable with the aura which is bigger than you. This is pure energy science. Okay. So coming back to the experiment, in family life, in relationships, always there are ups and downs. So anytime you feel emotional and most of the relationship, what is the problem? The only problem is expectation. In most of the relationship, the only problem is expectations. Every expectation naturally leads to frustrations, right? And a lot of expectations from others, right? The expectation of the man is the woman should serve him. The expectation of the woman is the men should understand her. You have to understand, no soul takes birth to serve others. Every soul takes birth to serve itself primarily. And no soul takes birth to understand others. Every soul takes birth to understand themselves. It's a very simple logic. So when you understand this, then your expectations are reduced. Still, you will have expectations anyway, because your mind creates expectations. But your expectations will be under control when you understand the truth. And finally, you let go of all the expectations. When you let go of all the expectations, then the relationship becomes beautiful. There is a beautiful friendship. In any relationship, when you remove the expectations, the relationship becomes beautiful. Because whatever the other person does is out of his own heart space, her own heart space. So, in any relationship, there is ups and downs, and there is a lot of emotional turmoil. Whenever you feel emotionally low or you feel emotionally disturbed, just go for a quick shower. You will feel so good. So, this is the experiment I want you to do. So, if you are in the path of the spiritual self-realization, then do this experiment. Take shower at least 2 times a day, minimum 2 times a day, morning and night. And any special days where you are going through a lot of emotional turmoil, take extra shower. Okay. All special days in your life are the days you are learning more lessons. More challenges, more lessons are special days for you. So take an extra shower on special days, but minimum of 2 showers. Drink plenty of water. Your belly should be full of water. When your belly is full of water, naturally your energies are high, right? And take shower. So this is the experiment with the water. So the first experiment is with the prana, with the breath. The second experiment is with the water, intake of water and shower. And the third experiment, I'll tell you, very interesting experiment. You should always remember that you are a soul. You are not the body. You have a body, but you are more than the body. You are pure consciousness. And every time you should remember that you are a temporary visitor to the planet Earth. This remembrance should be there all the time. Then your soul nourishes you. Your soul recharges. Your very remembrance that you are a soul instantly gives energy to the soul. I want you to do this experiment. You should be in the soul consciousness. All the time you should be in the soul consciousness. Let me tell you some practical ways you can do this. See, you have to understand the nature of the mind, and you have to understand the nature of the soul. What is the nature of the mind? The nature of the mind is the mind takes you into the outside world. The mind is always concerned with the outside world, materialistic world. Mind either takes you to the past or to the future. Mind doesn't stay in the present moment. Mind keeps jumping between the past and the future. That is the nature of the mind. That's why we call it as a monkey mind, because it doesn't stay still in the present. It always keeps jumping to the past and the future. That's why we call it as a monkey mind. That is the nature of the mind. So when you understand this is the nature of the mind, then you know how to deal with it. See, the understanding helps you to deal with it. So anytime your mind is disturbing, you tell yourself, okay, this is the nature of the mind. That's fine. But I will focus on the present moment. I will practice mindfulness. So anytime you practice mindfulness, you will notice that your agitation of the mind is reduced. So in mindfulness, you are totally focused on the present moment. So in the present moment, the tension of your mind is no more. Whatever the work you are doing, fully focus on the work. Then your mind is naturally focused, calm, productive, efficient. That is mindfulness. So by understanding the nature of the mind, you are able to tackle the mind, and you're able to use the same mind, tame the same mind into a beautiful mind, into a productive mind, into an efficient mind. Similarly, from the soul point of view, you have to see life from the soul point of view all the time. So this is the third experiment, where you see life from the soul point of view. How do you see life from the soul point of view? You have to understand that whatever the challenges you are going through in your life, you have to understand that you have incarnated on the earth for this very reason. You have come to the earth to face the challenges, so that out of the challenges you evolve, out of the challenges you grow, out of the challenges you learn some lessons. You go to the school to learn the lessons. You come to the earth to face the challenges. As simple as that. The very purpose you have incarnated on the earth is to face your challenges, my dear friends. Then where is the complaint? Where is the disappointment? So life becomes a celebration when you see from the soul point of view. See, from the mind point of view, life is challenging. From the body-mind point of view, life is very, very challenging. But from the soul point of view, life is an opportunity. Life is a celebration. From the body-mind point of view, samsara is challenging. Too much. Samsara is too much. But from the soul point of view, samsara is the most beautiful thing. You have to see yourself from the soul point of view. What does the soul want? What is the nature of the soul? You have to understand the nature of the soul. The nature of the soul is dissatisfaction. The soul is always dissatisfied. That is the nature of the soul. The soul is always dissatisfied. There is a temporary satisfaction and then there is a dissatisfaction. That's why you see in your life, you are meditating, you are practicing mindfulness, you are doing all the good things, but still sometimes you feel dissatisfied. You see, what is the meaning of life? Life has no meaning, life has no purpose. So you go into a low phase. It is a natural thing because that is the nature of the soul. And that is how the soul evolves. It is through this dissatisfaction, the soul evolves. With this dissatisfaction, the soul is seeking adventure. The soul seeks adventure all the time. The soul is always curious. The nature of the soul is curious. The soul is always curious. The soul always likes adventure. The soul has come to the planet Earth for adventure. Coming to the planet Earth and taking this physical body is the greatest adventure of the soul. From a higher dimension, the soul incarnates into the planet Earth, takes this physical body. That itself is the greatest adventure. And from then on, the soul is constantly seeking adventures. So anytime you feel dissatisfied, right? So what does that indicate? So that indicates now time to focus on adventure, time to focus on creativity. So dissatisfaction plus adventure gives naturally a temporary satisfaction. You are dissatisfied, then you go into adventure. Then you are temporarily satisfied. Again, you become dissatisfied. So this is the nature of the soul. So once you understand the nature of the soul, then life becomes a celebration. You have to see that from the soul point of view, every minute experience counts. The soul is thrilled to explore life from every direction, from every angle, from every point of view. The same experience, but in a different angle, from a different point of view, from a different understanding. The soul is thrilled. You have to underline the word, the soul is thrilled. The soul is thrilled with every direction, with every dimension, with every angle. And the soul has come to the earth for that purpose, because soul is constantly seeking adventure. And this adventure gives the thrill to the soul. Going into the marriage is an adventure. Coming out of the marriage is also an adventure. So every adventure is a thrill for the soul. You are doing a business, you get a lot of profits, it's a thrill. And you go into losses, that is also a thrill. So from the soul point of view, every experience is a thrill. Every experience is a thrill for the soul. So when you see life from the soul point of view, then you are instantly charged with energy. Seeing life from the soul point of view is called enlightenment. The definition of enlightenment is you have the ability to see life from the soul point of view. There is no judgments in the higher worlds. In the higher worlds, nobody will judge you. There is only reflection and learning in the higher worlds. So if you can use the same formula where you don't judge yourself, you don't judge others, you just go through the reflection, learn the lessons and move on. Learn the lessons and move on. Enjoy the journey, my dear friends. There's a lot of thrill in the journey. Only when you see life from a soul point of view, there is thrill. Somebody insults you, you feel very bad. Your ego is hurt, right? You feel very bad because your ego is hurt. Where does your ego come from? Your ego comes from your mind. But the same experience you see from the soul point of view. So that is an experience. What is a hurtful experience from the mind point of view? From the soul point of view, it is just an experience. Mind has good and bad. Mind has positive and negative. Mind has all the dualities and polarities. But from the soul point of view, every experience counts. Your focus should be on the imbalances. What imbalances you have? Okay. In Sanskrit, we call it as dosha. Dosha means imbalance. So we have different gunas. Different people are in different gunas like tamo guna, rajo guna, sattvika guna. These are all gunas. And we have all the gunas, but which guna is dominant? That guna represent. If you are in dosha, that means there is an imbalance in that guna. You are stuck in that. Tamo guna, for example, we all know tamo guna, rajo guna, sattvika guna. I assume you all know this. Tamo guna means people who are in survival consciousness, body level. They're stuck on the body level. Rajo guna means they're stuck on the mind level. Sattvika guna means they are on the intellect level. Nirguni means you are on the soul level. So tamoguna, rajoguna, sattvika guna, and then nirguni. Nirguni means you are not stuck in any gunas. You are a pure consciousness. You might have all the gunas, but none of the gunas, you are in imbalance. You are in perfect balance. That means you are a nirguni. So what is tamoguna dosha? The tamoguna dosha is laziness. The imbalance in the tamoguna is laziness. As long as you remove the laziness, then you are no more stuck in the tamoguna. So tamoguna, write down, the tamoguna dosha is laziness. These are the areas you need to work on. So the more you work on the doshas, the more you will celebrate life. So this is another experiment I want you to do, where you clearly understand what are the doshas, what are the imbalances. And the more you work on the imbalances, the more naturally you are full of energy. And more energy, more celebration. So the next experiment is you work on your doshas, imbalances. So tamoguna dosha is laziness. Rajoguna dosha is arrogance. Everybody should follow me. Everybody should listen to me. My opinion matters. Others' opinion don't matter. This is dosha. This is Rajoguna dosha. You have to respect everybody's free will. The more you respect everybody's free will, the more you will come out of the Rajoguna dosha. Why everybody should listen to you? Everybody has their own free will, right? The parents expect the children should listen to them. The wife expect the husband should listen to her. The husband expect the wife should listen to him. All these are Rajoguna doshas. Why should anybody listen to you? Everybody has their free will, and you have to respect everybody's free will. You respect your own free will, and also you respect others' free will. No need of domination, power, control. My words should be the final. Even sometimes people come into the meditation, they are stuck in the Rajoguna. My guru is the greatest. My knowing is the best. My path is the best. You know the truth, but I know the truth of the highest order. My truth matters. So these are all doshas. Okay. Everybody is right from their point of view, and everybody has their own free will. You have to respect everybody's free will. Then you are out of the Rajoguna dosha. Okay. So next, Sattvika Guna dosha. Because I'm explaining this point so that you do this experiment, you write down and see where you are stuck in and how you can come out of it. The next is Sattvika Guna dosha. The Sattvika Guna dosha is all about feeling pity. Anytime you feel pity on others, you are in Sattvika Guna dosha. You should never feel pity on anybody. The feeling of pity is a very bad energy. In the God's creation, everything is perfect. You don't need to pity anybody. Compassion is fine, but pity is no. No pity. And you should not do others' homework. That is Sattvika Guna dosha. Doing others' homework. Doing others' homework means everybody will have to do their own mistakes and everybody has to learn their own life lessons. You cannot interfere in others' life journey. That is interference. You should never do others' homework. Suppose your friend is having a headache, right? Or your family members are having a headache. You are a meditator, you have a lot of energy. Say, okay, let me give you some energy. I will heal your headache. That is all doing others' homework. You should teach them meditation. You should teach them karma science and spiritual science and ask them to practice meditation so that they heal themselves. You cannot heal others. Everybody should heal themselves. You cannot do others' homework. Okay. And you should not interfere in others' learning process. Everybody will do mistakes and everybody will learn their lessons. The good things you can speak once, but more than that, it becomes an interference. If they are willing to listen to you, then you explain further. If not, you have to leave them as they are so that they learn their own lessons. You are overly worried about others' problems. That is all Sattvika Guna dosha. You are emotionally entangled. There is no emotional boundaries. You take others' problem as your problem. These are all Sattvika Guna dosha. Okay. You should understand everybody is a child of God. Everybody is a child of God, and everybody learns their own lessons. And that is why they have come to the school, to the earth. No pity and non-interference and not doing others' homework. No emotional entanglement. These are all Sattvika Guna dosha. And there is one more. You don't have the ability to speak the truth, even though you know the truth. That is Sattvika Guna dosha. You know the truth, but you don't want to speak the truth because you think others might not take it. It may not be appropriate to speak the truth in that particular forum. So why to speak the truth? I will keep quiet. If I speak the truth, there will be disturbance in the family. So I better keep quiet. So these are all Sattvika Guna dosha. When you know the truth, when the situation comes that you have to speak the truth, you have to speak the truth. Remaining quiet, remaining silent in the moment where you have to speak the truth is again a dosha. Because you are worried about the opinions of others, right? You have to be brave. You have to be fearless to speak your truth. To speak your own truth, you have to be fearless. When the time comes, when there is a need, when there is a situation, you have to speak. See, there is a difference. You don't need to voluntarily go and interfere and speak the truth in the name of speaking the truth and destroying. That is not the thing. That you should not do. But when there is a situation where you have to speak the truth, people are asking you to open the mouth and speak, that moment you have to speak the truth. You don't need to voluntarily go and speak, but when the situation comes, you have to speak. Right? So not speaking the truth is also Satvika Guna Dosha. Okay. So once you come out of all those imbalances, Rajo, Tamo, Satvika, imbalances, you become a Nirguni. Naturally, you become a Nirguni. So the more you work on your imbalances, the more naturally you feel energetic. All the pent up emotions, the frozen energy releases for your disposal. You have access to higher wisdom, higher knowledge. Okay. So the next experiment I want you to do is knowledge is power. Because today we are speaking about energy science. So the final experiment for today is knowledge is power. Anytime you listen to the truth, anytime you read the truth or contemplate the truth, and anytime you speak the truth, you are full of energy. So how do you do this experiment? When you are feeling low in life, what is the meaning of life? What is the purpose of life? Why am I going through this? At any point of time you are feeling low, immediately listen to YouTube spiritual discourse, or take a nice spiritual book and read it, or you read your own wisdom journaling, or you contemplate. Just close your eyes and contemplate what is the ultimate truth, and just contemplate that you are here temporary. This is just a drama. Life is a drama. Just that very remembrance that life is a drama gives you energy, my dear friends. The very contemplation that life is a drama gives you energy. So this is what I want you to experiment on. Okay. Knowledge is power. That is the title of experiment. Truth gives you energy. Not superficial knowledge, not the physical knowledge, the spiritual knowledge. Spiritual knowledge is power. When you realize that you are an eternal being, when you realize that there is no death for the soul, death is only for the body and mind, but there is no death for the soul. You are an eternal traveler. You are an intergalactic traveler. We travel from one dimension to another dimension to another dimension. We are eternal travelers. Just this realization, just this remembrance gives you instant energy. You will start appreciating the very temporary nature of life. You will start appreciating the very temporary nature of life only when you know what is the eternal nature of life. The more you understand the eternal nature of life, the more you will enjoy the temporary nature of life. So I want all of you to do this experiment, because spirituality is all about doing experiments. In the next 24 hours, I want all of you to do this experiment to the maximum extent possible. Do this experiment for the next 24 hours. And tomorrow, I want all of you to type your experiment results so that from there, we'll take it forward. But I really want you to get into this experiment mode. All the time be in the experiment mode. You will become a spiritual scientist only when you experiment. Only when you experiment the life. In your life, when you experiment, you'll become a spiritual scientist. Theoretical understanding of the truth is the first step. You have to understand the theory in the right way. You have to understand the science in the right way. So theoretical understanding, the proper understanding of the truth through the proper teacher, the right teacher, is the first step. Yesterday we discussed, when you are sincere, you will attract a sincere teacher. So theoretical understanding of the truth is the first step. Implementing and integrating the truth in your day-to-day life leads to self-mastery. If there is no integration, then there is never a self-mastery. So the practical application of your theoretical understanding is a must if you want to evolve. Right? So self-mastery is all about implementing the truth. Write down in bold letters. Self-mastery is equal to implementing the truth, integrating the truth, practicing the truth. It should be put in practicals. If you don't put in practicals, then there is no self-mastery. Okay. So practice mindfulness, practice meditation, and do all the energy experiments. So that is how you keep yourself motivated in this spiritual journey, right? So don't think that the syllabus is finished once you get enlightened. No, it is an eternal journey. Once the school is finished, then you go to college, then you go to master degree, then you do the PhD. So it's an eternal journey. Okay. So there is no goal, there is no destination. The journey is important. The goal is not important. Anyway, you're all going to get enlightened sooner or later. Either in this lifetime or after 2 lifetimes or after 100 lifetimes, you will get enlightened. Every single human who is born on the planet Earth will get enlightened. So the goal is not important. It is the journey which is important. How do you enjoy the journey? That matters. When you vacate the body and when you go to the higher worlds, you will meet your soul family. You will meet the spirit guides. You will meet all your friends there. The first thing they will ask is, did you enjoy the journey? They will not ask, how is the journey? They will ask, did you enjoy the journey? If you enjoy the journey, then your journey is successful. So let us enjoy the journey on the planet Earth, doing the right things, being in the path of righteousness. Let us enjoy the journey. Namaste.